Farrah Solano was born and raised in San José, the capital of Costa Rica. She came from a devout Catholic family. Since childhood, she was taught to worship diligently, attend Mass every Sunday, and follow the teachings of the Church without doubt. Her parents, especially her mother, always emphasized that the Catholic faith was the only path to salvation. In her home, a crucifix hung on the wall, a statue of the Virgin Mary stood in the corner of the room, and prayers were always said before meals and bedtime. However, deep in her heart, Farrah always felt that something was missing. What is the true meaning of life? That question often crossed her mind. Even though she faithfully carried out religious rituals, she often felt empty. When praying, she felt as if she was merely speaking without truly sensing God's presence. She sought answers, but every time she asked, she only received advice to deepen her understanding of church teachings. However, her search continued, unaware that destiny would lead her on a journey that would change her life. At the age of 18, Farrah was accepted into a prestigious university in Costa Rica to study law. She dreamed of becoming a lawyer who would fight for justice and defend the oppressed. On campus, she met many students from diverse backgrounds, including Amina, a Muslim student from Morocco. At first, Farrah didn't pay much attention to Amina, but one thing caught her interest: the serenity that always radiated from her new friend. One day, while they were discussing law and morality, Amina said, "In Islam, justice is highly upheld. Allah loves those who act justly." Farrah was surprised. "Justice in Islam," she murmured to herself. Intrigued, she began to wonder about Islam. Amina patiently answered all her questions, never once trying to force her to believe. However, there was one moment that truly shook Farrah's heart. One afternoon, while they were studying together in the library, Amina asked for permission to leave for a moment. "I'm going to pray first," Amina said calmly. Farrah nodded, but curiosity got the best of her. She quietly followed from a distance and watched as Amina spread out her prayer mat, stood, bowed, prostrated, and prayed with deep concentration. At that moment, Farrah felt something strange in her heart, a serenity she had never experienced before. After that incident, Farrah began to learn more about Islam. In secret, she read articles, watched videos, and even started reading translations of the Quran online. Her nights were spent reading and reflecting. Every verse she read seemed to answer the restlessness she had always felt. However, there was one verse that completely changed her perspective. Whoever Allah wills to guide, He opens their heart to Islam. Quran, Surah Al-An'am 125. Tears streamed down her face. She realized that all this time, she had been searching for something that Allah had already prepared for her. From that moment on, her heart grew more certain. She began learning how to worship in Islam, understanding the meaning of prayer, and even trying to pray in the way Islam teaches. However, one big question troubled her. How would her family react if she truly decided to embrace Islam? After months of reflection and learning, Farrah finally made the biggest decision of her life. She wanted to become a Muslim. She met Amina and told her about her decision. Amina smiled, filled with emotion, and then took her to a small mosque in their city. There, in front of the imam and a few witnesses, Farrah recited the Shahada. "I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and I bear witness that Muhammad is the messenger of Allah." As soon as the words left her lips, she felt an overwhelming peace unlike anything she had ever experienced before, but that happiness did not last long. When she returned home and told her parents, it felt as if her world had collapsed. Their reaction was far worse than she had ever imagined. Her mother broke down in hysterical tears, while her father stared at her with furious eyes. "Have you lost your mind, Farrah?" her mother screamed. "Do you even realize what you've done?" Her father's voice trembled with anger. Farrah tried to explain, but no one wanted to listen. No matter how hard she tried, her parents saw her as nothing more than a traitor. From that day on, their relationship changed drastically. No one greeted her or spoke to her anymore. It was as if she no longer existed in her own home. But the most painful moment came when her mother said, "If you remain in that religion, you are no longer our daughter." That night, Farrah cried her heart out. She had lost her family, but deep down, she knew she had found the truth. After leaving home, Farrah stayed in a student dormitory. Her days were filled with trials, loneliness, the pain of being shunned by her family, and the challenges of being a convert in an environment that knew little about Islam. But every time she felt sadness creeping in, she remembered the verse that had strengthened her from the beginning. Indeed, with hardship comes ease. Quran, Surah Al-Inshirah 6. And it was true, Allah did not leave her alone. She found a new family among her Muslim brothers and sisters. She began to deepen her understanding of Islam, discovering the true meaning of life and growing closer to Allah. Now, at 19 years old, Farrah still faces rejection from her family. However, she continues to pray that one day they will accept her again. She firmly believes that Allah never abandons those who seek the truth. Even though the world may turn away from her, she knows that Allah always welcomes her with boundless love, and that is enough for her. Farrah Solano's journey was never an easy one. From a devout Catholic girl, she went through doubt, a long search, and finally found Islam as the guiding light in her life. Her decision came with heavy consequences, losing her family, being shunned by those closest to her, and facing deep loneliness. Yet amid all of that, Farrah discovered something far more valuable: true peace and unwavering faith. Every tear she shed, every trial she faced, each one only strengthened her faith. Now she lives her days with hope, holding firmly to the belief that Allah never abandons those who seek the truth. Farrah believes that one day her parents will understand and accept her decision, but until that day comes, she will keep moving forward with faith and prayer, because she knows that with every hardship there is ease, and in every journey toward truth there is a light that never fades. Islam in the United States has experienced remarkable growth over the past few decades. Although it is not the majority religion, Islam has become the third largest religion in the country after Christianity and Judaism. With the increasing Muslim population, the growth of mosques, and participation in politics and society, Islam is becoming an increasingly significant part of the religious landscape in America. However, this growth is also accompanied by challenges such as prejudice, Islamophobia, and occasionally discriminatory policies. This video will explore the history of Islam in America, its current growth, the contributions of Muslims in various fields, and the challenges they face. The history of Islam in the United States. Islam is not a new religion in the United States. Its presence can be traced back to the colonial era and the transatlantic slave trade in the 17th century. It is estimated that around 10 to 30% of the enslaved Africans brought to America were Muslim. However, over time, many of them were forced to abandon Islam and adopt Christianity as part of cultural assimilation. In the early 20th century, Muslim communities began to grow through immigration from the Middle East, South Asia, and Eastern Europe. One of the key moments in the history of Islam in America was the rise of the Nation of Islam, NOI, in the 1930s, a movement focused on spiritual and social empowerment for the African American community. Prominent figures such as Malcolm X and Muhammad Ali played a major role in introducing Islam to the wider public. The large wave of immigration from Muslim-majority countries following the Immigration Act of 1965 further strengthened the presence of Islam in the United States. Since then, Islam has continued to grow and spread across various segments of society. Muslim population growth in America. Islam is currently the fastest growing religion in the United States. The Muslim population in the U.S. is estimated to be between 3.3 to 3.45 million people, encompassing various ethnicities and cultural backgrounds. The key factors driving this growth include immigration. Many Muslims come to the U.S. as refugees or workers from countries such as Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, Iran, Iraq, Syria, and Somalia. Religious conversion. Each year, around 25,000 to 30,000 Americans convert to Islam, with approximately 20 to 25% of them being African Americans. High birth rates. Muslim families tend to have higher birth rates compared to the average U.S. population. According to the Pew Research Center, the Muslim population in America is projected to surpass the Jewish population by the mid-21st century, making it the second largest religious community after Christianity. Expansion of mosques and Islamic community centers. As the Muslim population grows, the number of mosques in the United States has also increased significantly. Currently, there are more than 2,700 mosques across the U.S., up from approximately 1,200 mosques in the year 2000. Mosques serve not only as places of worship, but also as centers for education, social activities, and community services. Some of the most well-known mosques in the U.S. include Islamic Center of Washington, D.C., one of the largest and oldest mosques in the U.S. Malcolm Shabazz Mosque in Harlem, New York, a mosque with a long history in African American Islam. Islamic Society of North America, ISNA, in Indiana, the largest Muslim organization in the U.S. In addition to mosques, there are many Islamic schools and cultural centers that provide religious education for young Muslim Americans, ensuring the preservation of Islamic teachings and values for future generations. Muslim participation in politics and society. In recent decades, American Muslims have become increasingly active in politics and government. One of the most historic moments was the election of Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib to the U.S. Congress in 2018, making them the first Muslim women to hold such positions. In addition to them, several other influential Muslim figures in American politics include Keith Ellison, the first Muslim elected to the U.S. Congress, 2006. Andre Carson, another Muslim member of Congress representing Indiana. Sadaf Jaffer, the first Muslim woman to serve as a mayor in the U.S. Beyond politics, Muslims have also made significant contributions in academia, business, science, and entertainment, further integrating into and shaping American society. Challenges faced by Muslims in America. Despite rapid growth, Muslims in the U.S. still face various challenges, including Islamophobia and discrimination. Since the September 11, 2001 attacks, Muslims have often been targets of prejudice and discriminatory policies. Hate crimes against Muslims, including attacks on mosques and workplace discrimination, remain a recurring issue. Government policies. Certain policies have disproportionately affected the Muslim community, such as the travel ban on Muslim-majority countries imposed by the Trump administration. Additionally, some security measures often target Muslims as high-risk groups, reinforcing negative stereotypes. Media representation. The media frequently portrays Muslims in a negative light, often associating them with terrorism or extremism. However, in recent years, there has been a growing presence of positive Muslim representation in films, TV shows, and literature, helping to challenge stereotypes and promote a more accurate understanding of Muslim identity. Muslim contributions to social and cultural life. American Muslims have not only persevered through challenges, but have also made significant contributions across various fields, including science and technology. Dr. Ayub Omaya, a neurosurgeon who invented the Omaya Reservoir, a device used to treat brain cancer. Dr. Mehmet Oz, Dr. Oz, a well-known doctor and TV host famous for promoting health awareness. Arts and entertainment. Dave Chappelle, a legendary comedian who openly discusses his Muslim identity in his work. Rami Youssef, a comedian and actor who won a Golden Globe for his show, Rummy, which explores the life of a Muslim American. Sports. Muhammad Ali, a boxing legend who introduced Islam to the world through his activism inside and outside the ring. Ibtihaj Muhammad, the first hijabi Muslim athlete to win an Olympic medal for the U.S. in fencing. Business and economy. Muslim-owned businesses have flourished in various industries, including halal restaurants and food businesses, tech startups led by Muslim entrepreneurs, Islamic fashion brands catering to the growing demand for modest wear. Through their contributions, American Muslims continue to shape and enrich the country's scientific, cultural, and economic landscape. Islam in the United States is experiencing rapid growth, both in terms of population, the number of mosques, and involvement in politics and society. Despite facing challenges such as Islamophobia and discrimination, American Muslims continue to contribute to various fields, including science, arts, sports, and business. With increasing public awareness of religious diversity, Islam in America is expected to continue growing and playing a greater role in building an inclusive and harmonious society.